as I was saying, my policy since then has changed, So, and since women are now fighting all over the internet, watch girl fights, and yes, it's my guilty pleasure, and yes, I do watch it just to see if there are going to be some boobies popping out. That's my thing. And I just like to see girls fight. They don't have good form, but, they fight. They're not fighting like Ronda Rousey. They're not like professional fighting. They're windmilling the shit out of that situation, but, I'm going to watch girl fights again tonight. But anyway, my nose is running, you have to forgive me. The whole thing is, my policy has changed about hitting women. Now, since this is a Commonwealth state, and you should never put your women in a situation where you have to hit them in a Commonwealth state, because your ass is going to get some serious fucking time, because in the Commonwealth state, if you have a vagina, you can get away with damn near anything, including murder. So, if the woman has a weapon in hand, and when I say weapon, I will be specific. These are unconventional weapons, but a standard weapon, a knife, a rock, a ink pen, a spoon, a fork, a gun, a brick, a broomstick. Let's just say if she has anything in her hand that's classified as something that can bring bodily harm to me, I'm sorry, I have to go against everything I stand for, and I'm going to have to punch a bitch in the mouth or in the face. I'm going to have to disarm her on some level or another without having my hand on the weapon, so that when the cops arrive, it's like, hey, when you dust that, you're not going to find my prints on it at all. And he's like, hand me that. Hell no. You hand it your damn self. I'm standing right here like this, not moving. She'll be leveled on the floor, but it won't be because I let her beat my ass. That's just not an option. If she has anything in her hand that can bring me bodily harm, she is no longer a female. She is a person. Thank you, Russell, because that's who gave me that whole quote. She is no longer a female. She is a person. All right? Now, I don't want to turn this into an equality thing, because it could simply become equal opportunity for an equal opportunity ass whooping, which is true. And, I support women in every way, shape, and form that I can. But, I did put a video up that I seen on Facebook about a dude talking about equality, and he just like buffalo charged a chick. Hey, look, I'll be the first to tell you, my kung fu style is based on Yim Win Chun. She was the baddest bitch on the planet. And I'm sorry for calling her a bitch, but she was the baddest female on the planet. My style is based on her style. Jeet Kune Do is based on her style. That should tell you that women are just as dangerous as men. She and Mulan and Joan of Arc all proved that shit. So, equal opportunity, there you go. Of course, back then it was illegal for Mulan, Wing Chun, and Joan of Arc to ever put their hands on a weapon in general. But see, what that was fear. That law was made out of fear because they knew that if a woman could work a weapon, the damage she can do for the things that have been done to women throughout centuries of time and space, yeah. That's why that law was put into place. Now, for those dead bastards that made that law, you're probably all rolling in your graves now because women are serving in the military, buddy. In all militaries. In Asia, in America, in all militaries amongst the world. Women are now allowed to serve. So suck on that for whoever wrote that damn law. Now, nowadays, it's not unusual for women to have an M4. It's not unusual for little girls to be at the targeting range. Hey, that shit's fucking awesome. Because I personally prefer a recurve bow. It's a little less dangerous and it's not going to kill anybody directly unless I make the right shot. But as far as like women being able to control weapons and shit, hey, I'm all for it, man. Whatever you can do to protect yourself. If I have a daughter, I want her to be like one of the baddest biatches on the fucking planet. I want her to be able to fuck up boys without question. I want her to be able to knock a boy on his ass and drop his ass next to dead. And I'm going to train her to make sure that she can do that to not just boys, but the girls. They're never going to fuck with her when I'm done. Period. So she'll be like Xena Warrior Princess and shit. Only brown. Anyhow, the thing is about fighting. Fighting has two sides. There's a light side and a dark side, alright? I would say that I'm more of that third side of that yin-yang, that little gray line that connects the two symbols together. Because within us all, we have a little bit of evil and we all have a little bit of good. I'm probably what you would call the bad guy playing the good guy playing the bad guy. got that from Supernatural. So, you know, but it's also true. When I was younger, I was a little terror. And once I learned martial arts and once I had been street fighting, I kind of moved more towards the white side than the black side. And then as I gotten older, I have learned sometimes fighting ain't all it's cracked up to be. Unloading the dryer. You know, sometimes if you can just walk away from a fight, it's probably the best decision that you can make because you don't want to kill someone just because they keep fucking with you. You know, and it does happen that eventually you will get picked on so much that you have no choice but to do what you need to do. I don't personally think that there's something wrong with defending yourself. As long as you don't start the fight, I don't have a problem with it. But if you start the fight and you get your ass kicked, you ask for that, you know, because you started the fight. And as ruthless as that has come out of my mouth, it is also true to life. I've never ever really started a fight a day in my life. Unless you count the times that me being born started the fight with my big sister. You know. Which she posthumously ended every fight by beating my ass. You know. So it's not that I have never had my ass whooped. Because my big sister used to whoop my ass all the time. I think it was because my hair is better. Anyway, you know, I guess she used to think that I was meant to be her little sister because I had the better hair between the two of us. And she used to pull it all the time. You know, big old curly mess. I'm sure you've seen my videos without the hair grease and stuff. So, you know, but yeah, I'm not ashamed to say that my ass got kicked by a girl a couple of times. You know, but big sisters don't really count. Or do they? But anyway, you know, long story short is that, you know, I for forever, me and my siblings, man, we fought like cats and dogs. But we wouldn't let anybody else fight with us. Because nobody's allowed to beat my ass with my sister. And vice versa. No one's allowed to beat my sister's ass with me. So, you know, it was that situation. That's just who we were. So, you know, long story short, before I relocate, you know, fighting is just something that's in the blood for me, and it's just something that we do. You have to understand that there's a time and a place for everything, and there's a battle that you can or cannot win or lose. It just depends on how you feel at that moment in time, you know. So that's that in a nutshell. And so, you know, you kind of want to be able to express yourself posthumously, and you want to be able to do these things without having some issues that you want to have to deal with later. And the thing is, you know, I'm a fighter, always have been, always will be. If I have children, they'll be fighters by force or by course. They won't have a real good choice or say in the matter. I mean, after they turn 18, they'll be grown, so it won't be much I can do, provided that I live long enough to have children. And if my girlfriend dumps me, Margaret show, I'm free to go. Anyway, you know, it's really all about learning about yourself. So martial arts is learning how to push your body to the most healthy limits that there are. I'm going to do a video about school bullying and everything, and honoring the kid that's probably still in a coma from the knife wielding thing and getting shot. So I'll do that after I do this, but I'll be back in my room. The thing you have to understand when it comes to being bullied, the main reason I took martial arts was so that I would not be bullied. However, as fate would have it, I was never bullied in the streets. I was only bullied in school. So learning martial arts taught me self-control of what not to do when being bullied in school, how to let it go in this ear and out the other. But after you get threatened a couple of times and you feel that your life is in danger, sometimes learning martial arts makes you go more to the dark side of that yin-yang symbol, and you get the I gotta fuck them up before they fuck me up attitude, and that's pretty much where I went with that. In high school, all my high school bullies happened to be dudes, except for like that one incident in the 12th grade, and like I said, I had my cousins handle her. She was sweating, boy, I can tell you that. She was sweating bullets for a while. And, you know, the thing about a bully, and why I make this video coming up, a bully is just a punk-ass motherfucker who got nothing better to do but make themselves feel better by picking on you. So if you're a high school bully, then you should probably take this to note. You might want to be careful of the people you bully, because if they'll come through and they catch you by yourself, your ass is grass. Just ask some of the people that I've caught by themselves and how quickly, when they don't have their support or their backup, when they're not outnumbering you, how quickly they don't want to fight you now. Certain people who are watching this, you know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about. A certain store called B&R Market. Alrighty then. Now, as I move on, I'm going to end this with saying this. Before I make my bully video again, because I've made a couple of them. Before I go into deep detail about that, one, I am not a saint. I have bullied 2 people in my entire lifetime, and no, they weren't kidding me. And the only reason I did it is because I got tired of not being in the in crowd. I got tired of being the lone wolf. So I made fun of a girl whose dad made her climb in the trash can, and I made fun of a girl who was exceptionally taller than me. Alright? Since then, I grew up and I never ever did it again. However, as karma would have it, in that endless vicious cycle, I have always been bullied. And I know how it feels to bully someone, and I know how it feels to be bullied. So, in that vicious cycle of karma, we have to learn that there are things that we just should not fucking do. At all. Under no circumstances whatsoever. There are things that we just should not do. Bullying is one of those things. Now, I never bullied people to the point where I made them cry. I have been bullied to the point where they've made me cry, and you being a kung fu master, you can't go home and say, "Mom, they made me cry at school." No, because the shame is just unfucking bearable. And I was ashamed. And the thing is that I realized that I could fight these guys, man. I could just beat these fuckers up. But I wouldn't because I was afraid of my mom. And I'm one of those kids that never got in trouble at school, never did anything wrong, and has gotten in trouble in school for, incredibly dumb shit. Alright? In grade school, I got in trouble for punching a girl in the mouth. That was, not the smartest thing I've ever done, but I got in trouble for that. And in grade school, I also got in trouble for passing a piece of grass around because I didn't want to go on a field trip, and I was hoping that I could get detention or suspension. And unfortunately, neither one of those worked out, and I still wound up going on the fucking field trip. Miss Conrad, I guess, pulled some strings from my half-breed ass to go on this field trip, and so I still managed to wind up going on the damn field trip. Unfortunately, I can't remember where the hell we were going, and whatever, I put the piece of grass in the pack of tools, and it wasn't actually, it was like a pine needle. So somebody's dad came in, I forgot what they did for a living, but they gave us all these tools to explore and look at, and I passed around a piece of pine needle to go with it, and when they got back, they said, "Who passed this around?" And everybody in the class snitched on my ass. It's like, James did it, and yeah, there was no going back then. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I did it. And so Miss Conrad gave me a tongue lashing, and then sent me to the office, and then the office sent me back, and was like, "Oh, you trying not to go on a field trip, but just for that, guess what, buddy? You're going on a field trip." While I was in Walker and Buford, I never really got in trouble at school. I never really did anything to get in trouble at school. But my first year at Buford, which was my only year at Buford, because I was going from Walker to Buford when they made that dumbass rule that there should be one middle school for 8th and 7th graders and one middle school for 6th graders and 5th graders instead of having everything like it was before, where you have the good kids go to Walker and the kids that have attitude problems go to Buford. Well, God, that was a scary transition when we all had to go to the same school, and the kids with the attitude problems would pick on us all the time. Well, I had this uncle, the Archangel. Fucker cut my hair 7 ways from Sunday in a really bad position. I had to wear a hat for 3 weeks, and I think I probably got in school for maybe threatening people, because they threatened to take off my hat, and I threatened to beat their ass. So, but I didn't go to the office or anything. I just kind of cruised through. And I got to high school. I only got picked on. I never started anything, but I had this teacher named Miss Dockery. I was the first person in the classroom, and she was always following the rules. So we had these chimes at CHS. I'm sharpening my pencil. I don't even hear the chimes. Everybody's talking. So all I can hear is the sound of that pencil being sharpened. So the end of class comes, and she slaps me with a fucking detention, right? It's like, "Here, you're retarded to class." I was like, "How am I retarded to class? I beat you to class." "You weren't sitting down when the chimes rang, so you're retarded to class." I'm like, what? So my mom pitched the bitch at the principal, who found out years later that I was actually kin to him by marriage, which would save my life in the 12th grade, or the 11th grade, actually, when I went to hell off in Ms. Jones' class. But moving backwards, the teachers didn't know that I wasn't supposed to do the detention until like the last part of detention. So I come to do the detention, and the teacher in charge of the detention, I think it was Mr. Spivey. I don't really remember, but I know it was a black guy. So anyway, I'm sitting in there, and he goes, is there a James Williams in here? And I was like, yeah, that's me. You know you weren't supposed to do detention? How long have you been in here? I said, since detention started. He's like, yeah, I meant to tell you that when you came in, but I've never seen you before because most of these guys that are in here, I know by name. And it's like, you know, it's pretty bad when the teacher doesn't recognize you if you're the only person who's only been there one time and he knows you're not supposed to be there, and he doesn't tell you. So I missed the school bus. I couldn't go home. So I had to sit in there to the end of detention, and then I had to get the school bus to go home. So like I said, I haven't been one of those people who get in trouble for like my own recourse. I usually get in trouble for really stupid shit. And that's how I got a detention for being early to class. So I've had some problems, you know. And those things just tend to carry on through life. And I've always gotten in trouble for someone else's mistakes. I've never gotten in trouble for mine. It's like maybe a couple of them, but not like major league trouble. Most of the time I get in major trouble is because of someone else's fucking mistake. Alright? And I have stories to tell, believe me when I tell you that. So I'm going to end this video on that. No bullying. Treat everybody fairly. And I hope you guys all enjoy these videos. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Company number 2. I'll be back down here to get my other clothes when they get dry. Be seeing you.